What's your job, Officer Oliver? What's a typical day like?
A typical day, there is no such thing. Each day is different, and that's one of the things that makes the job so exciting. But basically what we do is supervise individuals that have been released from state facilities, make sure they're following all of the rules of parole. There are 12 rules that each parolee has, and then they have additional special conditions based on their history and their crime. So it's our job to make sure they're following all of those rules, to supervise them, to make sure they're following any additional rules that we give them.
And we can take phone calls for our guests if you've been involved with prisoner reentry, either as a former prisoner yourself or a family member or an employer or someone else in the state justice system. Call and let us know what you think makes the biggest difference in successful reentry. We are rethinking reentry here at 212-433-WNYC, 212-433-9692. And Director Jimenez, how is Officer Oliver's job different from other parole officers in your department? I understand she works with a special reentry court.
Well, Officer Oliver is assigned to the Harlem Reentry Court. The Harlem Reentry Court is focused on people returning to a specific community in New York City, which happens to be the 25th Precinct. And what the Harlem Reentry Court has done is it has brought together all of the partners that work and do business and provide services in that precinct to assist this population that is returning to the 25th Precinct to perhaps be more successful with this large group of supporters around them. So in that sense, it is different. She works at the Harlem Reentry Court versus working at one of our regular parole offices, and there is a judge there who sees the parolee, so it is a different type of supervision.
Talk more about that, Officer Oliver, because people would probably think, well, parole is reentry. So if you're at a special reentry court, what's the difference between what you do and other parole officers would do in terms of trying to help the former prisoners, successfully reenter society?
Well, one of the most important things is that we're community-based. We have the individuals report at the Harlem Community Courthouse on 121st Street. Being community-based means that we can go out into the community, meet with different community organizations, meet with the programs that they go to. We meet with the case manager. There's a case manager that's provided for the individuals at the courthouse. Any needs that they have, whether it be housing, child care, any issues that are impeding their ability to succeed in parole, the case manager is there to assist them with, and the parole officer will meet with the case manager as well as the judge to make sure that we are addressing all of this person's needs and make sure that they stay out of jail.
Do you see patterns in terms of what makes for successful reentry?
Yes. A successful reentry means a lot of family support, number one, a person's mindset, and a person's actions. If they're following the rules of parole, if they come out of jail and they want to get a job and they make every effort that they can make to find a job or to get in some kind of educational or vocational training program, those things make a person successful.
Director Jimenez, same question.
Absolutely. Having the support, and I think that's why the reentry court is so different. It's to be able to get supervised in your own community, have your families involved in the process of reentry is a big, big issue, which helps someone be more successful. Having the providers, the employers going out into the community and building this team of supporters. Reentry, one of the basics of reentry is collaboration, and collaboration not just the state agencies, but collaboration from local agencies, providers, employers, community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, all of that being brought together to provide this person with a great basis and a balance to begin their lives anew. So, yes, that's the pattern that we look for.
Let's take a call from Hopi in New Brunswick, who I think has a very important question here. Hopi, you're on WNYC. Hello.
Hello, yes. I had a question. I have a friend he has found multiple jobs in the state of New Jersey. I won't tell you the names of the places, particular hospital, particular mail company. Has one place he was working there, and they came back to him and told him that they had to terminate him because he had a background. They found his background history.
That he had a criminal record.
Right. And so they terminated him. The other company, mail company, he found a job. They loved him. He went on the interview. He everything went fine. They said the only thing we have a problem with is your background history. And I wanted to know, is it legal for companies to say that and to do that, to say, well, we can't hire you because you have a background? And at the same time, how does somebody get back into the system? How do they get a job if they do have a background?
It's a great question, and I realize that he's in New Jersey, Director Jimenez, and you work with the New York State criminal justice system. I don't know if the laws are different from state to state, but is it legal to not hire someone just on the basis of a past criminal record?
Well, our experience is more of the nature of, did the parolee on the application process say that, yes, he does have a criminal record? If you say no during the application or during the interview, at any point after that, you can be terminated because you have provided a false statement. We encourage our parolees to be as truthful as they possibly can so that they don't get surprised somewhere down the line. There are some employers who just cannot hire formerly incarcerated person simply because that's the policy, that's the nature of the job they do. But we encourage our parolees to be as honest as you possibly can up front so that they cannot use the criminal history later down the line against them.